the doctor met us at the door and said, "Your son's not good."
How did a night out with mates turn into a parent's worst nightmare?
That's when I realised that I'm never going to hear his last breath.
I've always given 100% to the kids, but sometimes 100%'s not enough.
First-time mum, Christine Nganeko, was shocked to discover she was having twins.
Yeah, I sort of laughed and I cried and then sort of pulled myself together and took it on board.
Her twin boys, Daniel and Cameron Nganeko, were born in 1987.
They came early, 34 weeks.
Christine was a nurse.
What was it like being a mum to your twins?
Probably in one word, hectic.
Their dad, Te Uraura, a police detective. They settled down with their whānau in New Plymouth.
This is where the boys flourished, so we were active in a lot of things. Swimming, schools. We built all those relationships and those connections in our communities.
Daniel was a very quiet kid. He used to love doing his studies and he loved photography. He did well at school. He loved going down the beach and doing paintings. He was very creative, yeah.
Did he always know what he wanted to do in life?
He always wanted to do something with photography. He decided that he was going to go off to Melbourne.
In Melbourne, he became a respected videographer, working at the National Gallery of Victoria.
He grew very independent. He knew what he wanted. He was just really cool, calm and collected and a gentle person.
Our ancestors can watch over you while you do your business on Melbourne.
Thank you.
After his parents separated, Daniel inspired Christine to become a fly-in, fly-out nurse in rural Australia.
I thought, well, if I go over there and do some nursing over there, then I'd be able to see him more often. Daniel and I used to get excited about, go to a hotel and stay there and have some take-out eats and stuff like that, and then do a couple of the sites.
A year ago, he returned home to Aotearoa.
8 years is a long time to be away from home. He was at barbecues and that with his friends, and they would have their family there over in Melbourne, and he would think to himself, why aren't I home?
His whānau and friends were excited to have him back.
He worked for stuff photography. He was doing a business analysis study online as well, and he just did an apprenticeship with a Māori provider in Rotorua.
Daniel was finally settling on what he wanted to do next.
He wanted to work in the low decile schools here in New Plymouth.
His dad proud to see his son putting down roots.
He just started reconnecting with his community, and part of his community was the Tukapa Rugby Club. That was my rugby club. 2 weeks previously, he took photos for our championship Colts team and for the women's tour team who were in the finals.
On Saturday, July the 26th, 2025, Daniel decided to go to the senior prize giving at the Tukapa Rugby Club.
One of his best mates, she played for the women's team. Yeah, so that's really why he went along to support them.
I said, oh, you smell nice, you're going out. And he said, yeah. And I said to him, you're doing great. You're doing absolutely wonderful. You've got a big smile on your face and you're looking the best that you've been. He said, oh, thanks, Mum. I said, oh, sorry for giving you a lecture. He said, no, you're not giving me a lecture, it's fine. I said, well, keep safe and I'll see you tonight.
I picked him up from his mother's place, dropped him off. Daniel got out of the car and said, oh, pick me up at 3 a.m, Dad. Chuckling away, laughing away to me as joking. For some reason, I had to stop the car and look at him in the rear vision mirror. I don't know why I did it. I just had to watch him walk away. I left my phone on, and then I went to bed. Phone rang, it was Christine, saying that Daniel had been knocked out of the Tukapa Rugby Club. My reaction was, what the f***? Heard one knock Daniel out, and at the Tukapa Rugby Club, senior prize giving. It sounded crazy. When I arrived there, I saw multiple police cars, 2 ambulances, and a lot of people standing outside.
I didn't know the severity of it. I just thought knocked out and he would be in the ambulance and I'll see him in ED.
Daniel was lying in the back of the ambulance and the senior paramedic called out to me and said, Dad, your son's not good. He said, your son's pupils are dilated 5, and I knew what that meant. It means there's no brain function.
Before they actually put him into the helicopter, I noticed that there was a line that went down here and he was actually swollen either side of his brain. And I thought to myself, oof, that doesn't look good.
Daniel was flown to the critical care unit at Auckland Hospital.
He looked good in the bed, he just looked like he was sleeping.
Family and friends travelled up to be by Daniel's side.
They moved him to a big room so everyone could be in there. And I realised that this is the death room.
Yeah, he was brain dead, basically.
We agreed that we'd turn off his life support at 10 o'clock the next morning. Everyone comes in, and then I do my mihi and karakia, oroporaki for our son. And we said our final farewell to Daniel. Over the Rainbow. We all sang that song for him. I've been to many southern deaths, post-mortems, horrific murders, seen it all. But when it's your own, it's different. You can never prepare yourself for that. Someone's last breath is sacred and it's beautiful. It meant that his waiorua was leaving him.
Daniel Nganeko had returned home to Taranaki after many years of living abroad, and he was ready to find the next chapter in his life. He was a much adored son, friend and colleague who left a mark wherever he went. So how did a night out with his mates at the local rugby club swiftly turn into a violent and senseless tragedy?
I've caught up with Daniel 3 or 4 times since he'd come back from Melbourne. In the club, he was very good friends with one of our girl players.
President of the Tukapa Rugby Club, Scott Sifleet, saw Daniel arrive that Saturday night at the prize giving.
A couple of weeks earlier, our Colts won the championship, so Dan took a whole lot of photos, and he actually showed me on that night. He was flicking on his phone and showing me some of the photos he'd taken. I was like, oh, they're cool, I need a copy of them.
How was he that night?
Yeah, he was having a very good night. He had a few. He was still well with it, but yeah, very happy.
But another guest caught Scott's attention.
There's a guy out there. I sensed something at the time, and I actually went up to him and shook his hand and said, hey, I'm Scotty, I'm the boss here. Don't want any trouble tonight. I don't know what made me do it.
That person was 22-year-old Daytona Thompson.
So he didn't play rugby or wasn't really a part of the club?
No, the first time I'd seen him was that night.
What made you want to just keep an eye on him?
I don't know, it's just gut feel. I've run the rugby club for a lot of years, and you can sort of tell when someone's got a, I hate to say it, but a look about them.
Despite this, the celebrations rolled on.
Everybody was having a good time. The DJ started downstairs. There was no trouble, it was awesome. We had noise control turn up at 11:30, so that's about when we shut the bar, and so that sort of drew the end to the night.
I decided that it was time to head into town.
One of the club members there that night was hanging out with Daniel when the party came to an end. She wants to remain anonymous.
I went back into the club room, rounding everyone up. I hopped in the car with my mate. Daniel was up the road slightly, and he was coming with us into town. And I think that's kind of when yeah, Daytona come across the road. I didn't know him. I'd seen him a few times throughout the night. Daytona come over to the car and asked us if we were all right. Me and my mate opened up my door, said, yeah, we're all good, bro.
So he checks in, you say you guys are okay, you close the car door.
Yep.
What happens after that?
Daytona pretty much stood up immediately, and it was so quick, he just turned his body towards Dan and took him right off his feet. I saw him strike him on the chin, and he just fell to the ground.
How brief was that exchange between the two of them?
I think it was actually less than a minute, but there was no altercation, no staunchness that I could see, and that's why it was so crazy. Daniel had no idea it was coming. Yeah, it came so quickly he couldn't even brace himself or anything.
So there was clear intent there to hurt Daniel.
You can't throw a punch like that and expect the outcome to be anything, at least really.
Daytona then took his phone out, stood over Daniel and filmed what he had done before taking off.
He was lying on the footpath when I got there, and I was like, what happened? Who did what?
It was very chaotic, but there were people everywhere.
The name Daytona got thrown around a couple of times, and I caught him on the field, grabbed him and said, this was you. And no, it wasn't me. And so we went backwards and forwards for, seems like forever. Then he admitted to me that it was him that had punched Dan.
I just remember being frozen. There are so many victims in this, you know. All because one person chose to do something that was really reckless. For myself, it was the feeling of how could I have made it so that Daniel didn't die. I still struggle with it a bit. That affected me for a wee while afterwards because I sort of thought, well, if I'd got out of the car, I could have done something, you know.
Te Uraura and Nganeko remembers the last few months he spent with his son.
Because we had been on 5 road trips since he came back. And every time we came home, we always sort of slowed down to see if the mum was there.
His last journey was bringing his boy back home.
I said, this is my last road trip with you, boy. So I made the undertaker slow down as we got around that corner and stop, and I said, Daniel, home.
Hundreds of whānau, friends and colleagues were at Daniel's funeral.
We had people coming over from Perth and Brisbane, family from Melbourne. It was amazing to have such great support.
Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. I can't sugarcoat this. What happened to Daniel has shattered us.
It's just like so final. Very, very hard. Very hard to accept.
How much damage has it done for the club, or to the club?
It's probably brought our club closer together. So, some of his best friends may never step foot back in Tukapa, not because of the club, but because of what happened here to their best mates.
What did you want to speak today?
Being able to help the family get a bit of a more clear picture in their heads because they've got so many questions.
Giving some answers to Daniel's parents and his twin brother, Cameron.
All the information I can give is going to help their hearts.
Outside the Taranaki High Court, Daniel's whānau awaits justice. Friends and the wider community turning up in large numbers.
There isn't a day that goes by that we don't think of him. His smile, his humour, the way he could light up a room.
Ka pai whānau.
Daniel Nganeko's killer, 22-year-old Daytona Thompson, is about to be sentenced for manslaughter.
Thompson was aggressive, dangerous and intended to cause harm. today's sentence will never be enough because nothing can bring Daniel back.
This isn't the first time Daytona Thompson has been in court. In 2022, Thompson faced multiple assault charges. After completing the Māori Justice Panel Te Uraura, he was discharged without conviction.
He walked free. 2 years later, appears in court for manslaughter for killing our son. We got to see firsthand the thug that killed our son.
I've always given 100% to the kids, but sometimes 100% is not enough because it's other people that do the damage.
When did you start to really want to know and get to the bottom of what happened to Daniel?
As soon as I saw him in the back of that ambulance, I went into detective mode.
Te Uraura and Nganeko has been determined to find out why his son was attacked by Daytona Thompson.
So if you read the summary of facts, it states that they did not know each other. So I took it as that they didn't engage at all that night. I dug deeper when I watched the internal CCTV footage. There's CCTV footage of Daytona Thompson that night showing how he punches. It looked like a play fight, him demonstrating exactly how he punches someone to the jaw.
He also found an interaction with Daniel.
Daniel had his arm around Daytona, was patting him on the shoulder, consoling him by what it looked like.
This interaction, Te Uraura believes, happened minutes before the attack on Daniel.
His body language told me that something was said at that point. Something was said that startled Daniel and made him stand back.
How hard is it to come back here?
I feel sad. We've been here a few times. Te karakia for Daniel. We laid another wreath for him. It's not going to stop me coming back to celebrate his life.
Daniel's whānau and community have come together to form the Coward Punch movement.
Are we a violent country?
I'd say yes, hell yeah.
There have been 16 deaths related to coward punches since 2010.
There just seems to be this epidemic or culture out there about coward punch. I don't know what it's about, whether it's a macho thing or what it is, but it's just damaging people, leaving people brain dead.
Our key focus now is to raise awareness with our community and the rest of New Zealand around the dangers of cow punches.
Society is not going to tolerate this kind of behaviour.
The government is already looking at harsher sentences for coward punches.
It'll be now 8 years. If it has a very serious effect on the victim, it'll be 15 years. And if it's a death, it'll be culpable homicide.
Back at the New Plymouth High Court, Daniel's whānau wait to hear the sentence of his killer.
The judge has sentenced Daytona Thompson to 4 years, 2 months. We'll never forgive him for what he did and what he took from us.
This is Daniel's bedroom. This is his drone. He got his drone licence when he was over in Melbourne.
Christine Nganeko has all of Daniel's photography gear at home.
I'll always be inspired by his constant learning and trying to better himself. That is his certificate there from doing the apprenticeship, which he just finished a month before this tragedy. So hard to believe he's gone. He was trying to find his next passion for his reset here in New Plymouth. He wasn't perfect. It sounds like I'm trying to say that he's perfect, but he's not. He wasn't. And nobody is.
He had his flaws, you know.
He had his flaws, but he was always considerate, and he was always worried about me. He's always worried about me, making sure that I was okay. Just hope that not many more other mothers and families and dads have to go through this dreadful situation.
I talk to him every day and I say goodnight to him every night. He was a beautiful man. He was a gentle man. so much to give and so much potential.